Imagine you're reading a story to your grandson. Your voice is steady, and he listens intently. Then suddenly, you can't speak. Your right arm goes limp. Your vision begins to blur. And then, you're unable to call for help. It sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But it happens far more often than you might think, and not because of salty food or smoking. It often begins with a series of seemingly harmless morning habits. As a doctor who specializes in brain and vascular health in older adults, I've witnessed hundreds of cases just like this. People who were careful with every pill they took, who exercised daily, ate clean, slept on time, and yet collapsed just minutes after waking up. The question they ask most is, why me? The answer often lies in the morning itself. After age 65, your body no longer functions the way it did in your younger years. Blood pressure tends to dip during the early morning hours, then surge suddenly when you stand up too fast. Medications for blood pressure, blood thinners, or hormones may have stronger effects in the morning. Blood becomes thicker after a full night without water. And what's most concerning, even some healthy foods and habits can become dangerous simply because of timing. That's why I always tell my patients, what you do matters, but when you do it may matter even more, especially during the first 30 minutes after you open your eyes. So today, I want to walk you through 5 common morning habits, ones most older adults repeat without a second thought, that may quietly be increasing your risk of stroke. The next section could change the way you start your day and protect your memory, your independence, and the precious years you still have with the ones you love. Many of my older patients often say, "I'm just not used to eating breakfast. It actually makes me feel lighter." Some say they're simply not hungry in the morning. Others worry eating might make them sleepy or bloated. But here's what they don't realize. Once you're over 60, skipping breakfast is no longer a safe option. When you sleep, your body isn't just resting. It's going through an 8 to 10 hour fast. Blood sugar drops, organs slow down, and your blood becomes thicker. That's natural. But the moment you wake up, your entire system from your heart and brain to your hormones is waiting for one signal: refuel. If you delay that first meal too long, your body won't sit around quietly. It will react. The adrenal glands start releasing cortisol, and adrenaline, your stress hormones, not because you're anxious, but because your body thinks something's wrong. These hormones tighten your blood vessels, speed up your heart rate, and push your blood pressure higher to keep you alert. For a short while, you might feel fine, even surprisingly sharp. But behind the scenes, your heart is working overtime, pumping thicker blood through a system running on fumes. For a younger person, this might not be a big deal. But for older adults, especially those with high blood pressure or arterial plaque, it's the perfect setup for a blood clot. And we all know what happens when a tiny clot blocks a brain vessel. A stroke can strike in an instant. I'll never forget Mrs. Rose, 72. She lived a very healthy lifestyle, lots of vegetables, daily walks, a regular sleep schedule. But every morning she only drank a cup of green tea and skipped food until almost noon. One day, just as she stepped into the bathroom, she felt dizzy and collapsed. Thankfully, she was found early and only suffered a minor stroke. With tears in her eyes, she told me, "I never imagined something as small as skipping breakfast could be the thing that nearly kept me from ever walking out of that hospital." Yeah. So, what's the solution? You don't need a big meal. Just a banana, a few soaked walnuts from the night before, or a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter can gently wake up your circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and send your brain a signal of safety. For those on diabetes or blood pressure meds, this is even more important. Taking medication on an empty stomach doesn't just upset digestion, it can cause the effects to kick in too fast, leading to sudden blood pressure drops or dangerous blood sugar crashes. Always talk to your doctor. If breakfast makes you uncomfortable sometimes, the fix is as simple as changing your med schedule or choosing easier to digest foods. Remember, breakfast isn't just a routine. It's a promise to your heart and brain. I've got your back today. You wake up. The room is still quiet. Morning light hasn't yet spilled through the curtains. And then, almost like a reflex, your hand reaches for your phone. Maybe you just want to check the time. But then it's an unread message. A breaking news headline in bright red. A viral video. A comment that annoys you. An email reminding you of a bill you forgot to pay. And just like that, before your heart has even settled into a rhythm, your brain is thrown straight into a storm of chaotic information. This is what I call a silent storm, and most people don't even realize it's happening. In the first 30 minutes after waking up, your body is going through a delicate transition. Blood pressure begins to rise gently to bring oxygen to the brain. Heart rate gradually stabilizes. Morning hormones like cortisol are already naturally elevated and extra sensitive to stimulation. If in that moment you flood your system with bad news, stressful images, or irritating content, your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, takes over. Blood vessels constrict, the heart races, cortisol spikes even higher. Your body goes into alert mode, even though there's no real threat. For younger folks, this might just lead to a bit of fatigue. But for someone over 60, especially with high blood pressure, narrowed arteries, or a history of mini-strokes, it's like setting off a hidden landmine every single morning. I remember seeing Mr. Mark, age 67. He came in complaining of sudden morning headaches. His blood pressure would surge, even though he slept well the night before. After tracking his routine, we discovered he had a habit of reading political news right after waking up. Bold headlines, polarizing videos, inflammatory comment sections, they had become his mental breakfast, and they were making his blood vessels tense up like clockwork. He agreed to try something different. For 2 weeks, he stopped reaching for the phone. Instead, he opened his window, took 3 deep breaths, and just sat quietly for 5 minutes. And the result? His blood pressure leveled out, the morning fatigue faded, and most importantly, his mind felt clearer, lighter, as if he'd let go of an invisible burden. So if you've ever felt tense or tired the moment you wake up, if your heart races before you even get out of bed, maybe it's not aging. Maybe it's just that you're forcing your brain to go to work before your heart's even fully awake. Here's a small but powerful tip. Tomorrow morning, instead of grabbing your phone right away, try this. Sit up slowly. Let natural light fill the room. Take 3 deep breaths. Drink a warm glass of water. And then, after 10 minutes, if you want, check your notifications. By then, your body will have its armor on, ready to handle whatever comes. What you see first in the morning doesn't just shape your mood, it programs your heart, your memory, and your nervous system. So choose peace over panic. It's a feeling we all know, the morning fog, the stillness of early light, and then one sip of coffee, one familiar aroma. And suddenly, everything clicks into place. It's a habit, a ritual, even a small joy that starts the day. But here's what most older adults don't realize. When you drink coffee right after waking up before you've had any water, you're not gently waking your body. You're pushing it to run, before you've even added oil to the engine. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body quietly loses water. Through breathing, sweating, and kidney function, blood becomes thicker and flows more slowly. Brain and heart cells are waiting to be rehydrated so they can start up smoothly. But instead of giving them a gentle glass of water, you pour in a hot cup of coffee or black tea. Caffeine, especially on an empty stomach, not only dehydrates further, but also tightens your blood vessels, increases heart rate, and causes a sharp spike in blood pressure. For younger folks, this might be a welcome jolt, but for someone over 60, it can be the tipping point. Thicker blood, tighter vessels, and a heart that suddenly has to strain to push flow toward the brain, a brain that's still thirsty, but now bombarded with pressure. I'll never forget Mrs. Lillian, age 68. She lived a green lifestyle every morning. She drank a smoothie with kale, carrots, celery, and followed it with unsweetened coffee. Her first meal? Not until 10 a.m. One day, while sweeping her yard, she felt dizzy, her vision blurred, and then she collapsed, hitting her head on the front steps. The diagnosis was mild dehydration and a brief drop in blood pressure. No serious injuries, but that fall stole her confidence for months. Looking back, we realized that healthy habit had missed one simple thing: listening to the body. The fix? It's not complicated. After waking, drink a full glass of water, about 8 to 10 Oz, 250, 300 ml. If you tend to feel dry or dehydrated, add a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of natural sea salt to help your body absorb it faster. Then wait 15 to 20 minutes. That's when you can enjoy your beloved coffee, with your heart and vessels properly cushioned. This doesn't take away your morning joy. It just moves it slightly, so your heart doesn't have to pay a heavy price. You don't have to give up coffee. Just offer your body a sip of water first as a kind gesture. I won't force you to run just yet. I'm here to support you first. Morning. The alarm just rang. You're awake, but your blanket is still warm. You feel a slight urge to pee, but it's not urgent. I'll stay in bed a few more minutes, you think. Then 10 minutes pass. Then another 10. It seems harmless. But for older adults, just one instance of holding urine after waking up can create biological stress more serious than you might imagine. While you sleep, your kidneys are still at work producing urine through the night. By morning, your bladder is full and signals your brain to empty it. If you ignore that signal, your body is forced to deal with the internal pressure of a stretched bladder. But that's not the worst part. When the bladder becomes overly stretched, the autonomic nervous system reacts by raising your blood pressure. This helps maintain blood flow to organs being compressed by the full bladder. For younger people, the body can adjust. But for someone over 60, every time you delay urination, you're forcing the heart to pump against a stress load it didn't ask for. I once treated Mr. Arthur, age 74. Every morning, he had a routine lie in bed for 15 to 20 extra minutes, until he felt fully awake. One day, he felt a sharp chest discomfort after finally getting up to use the restroom. His cardiologist discovered that his blood pressure spiked almost every morning, even though it stayed normal throughout the day. After he changed his routine, getting up and using the restroom immediately after waking, his early morning blood pressure improved significantly within just 2 weeks. No new medication, no supplements, just listening to his body the moment it spoke. Beyond blood pressure, regularly holding urine in the morning can also lead to weakened bladder muscles, increased risk of urinary tract infections, and in rare cases, enough cardiovascular stress to trigger chest pain or even a minor stroke. Here's a simple tip for tomorrow morning. If you wake up and feel the urge to pee, go right away, even if you think you can hold it a bit longer. Keep slippers near the bed. Leave a warm robe or jacket within reach if it's cold. Don't let a little laziness become a big burden for your heart. When you listen and respond to even the smallest signals from your body, you're not just reducing physical strain, you're teaching yourself a more kind and proactive way to live. For many older adults, jumping out of bed quickly each morning feels like proof that they're still fit. Some even tell me, "Doctor, I'm still flexible, I stand right up, never feel dizzy." But in medicine, feeling nothing doesn't always mean nothing is happening. While you sleep, your entire circulatory system slows down. Heart rate drops, blood pressure decreases, blood flows more slowly, especially to the brain. The moment you open your eyes, your body needs time to transition from lying down to standing. If you sit up too fast, your blood pressure hasn't yet caught up, and blood hasn't reached the brain fast enough. This leads to a few seconds of oxygen shortage to the brain, causing dizziness, lightheadedness, or even fainting. For younger people, it might just feel like a brief head rush, but for someone over 60, it can trigger dangerous consequences. Falls, broken bones, stroke due to sudden blood pressure shifts, and in some cases, the loss of independence, all from a move that seemed harmless. I once met Mrs. Eleanor, age 70. One morning, she jumped out of bed quickly when she heard her grandchild crying. She felt dizzy, lost balance, and hit her head on the bed frame. Thankfully, there was no internal bleeding, but from that day on, she was too afraid to get up by herself. That fall didn't just hurt her body, it shook her confidence. And for older adults, that loss of confidence can be harder to heal than a bruise or cut. So what's the solution? It's simple and deeply respectful to your body. When you wake up, don't rush. Stay in bed for a few seconds and take 2 to 3 deep breaths. Roll to your side and gently use your arms to help you sit up. Place your feet on the floor and sit for about 30 seconds. Then stand slowly, but with intention. There's nothing weak about rising slowly. On the contrary, it shows wisdom, the kind that listens to a body that's changed with time. Aging doesn't take away your strength. It simply asks you to slow down a little so you can keep that strength for longer. We often say, tomorrow is a new day. But once you're past 60, every morning isn't just another start. It's a small test, a test of your body, of your heart, your memory, and sometimes of your very survival. Stroke isn't always about age. It doesn't strike at random, like many believe. It's built silently, slowly, by the tiny, seemingly harmless choices you repeat each morning. Skipping breakfast, reaching for your phone too soon, sipping coffee before drinking water, ignoring the urge to use the bathroom, jumping out of bed too quickly. None of these will harm you instantly, but together they wear down your internal systems. They make your morning blood pressure less stable. tighten your blood vessels. Force your heart to work harder. Until one day, it takes just a small stumble, and your body can no longer get back up. But here's the part I love most about my job. It doesn't take anything dramatic to change that path. You don't have to run 5 kilometers a day. You don't need a cabinet full of pills. You don't need extreme diets or endless routines. All it takes is a sip of water the moment you wake up, a few seconds of stillness before standing, letting sunlight fill your room before the news does, a small piece of fruit to start the day, not an empty stomach, and honoring your body's signals, like going to the bathroom without delay. Sometimes, the difference between a stroke and a peaceful morning lies in the first 60 seconds after waking up. And when you choose to start your day slowly, mindfully, and gently, you're not just protecting your brain, your heart, and your vessels. You're preserving your independence, your clarity, and the precious memories you still want to live long enough to keep. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, take a moment to slow down. Don't rush to check your phone. Don't spring out of bed like you're running late. Don't ignore the quiet signals your body is sending: thirst, the urge to use the bathroom, a still slow heartbeat. And don't skip that small slice of toast, that first sip of water, or that gentle ray of sunlight on your floor. Because sometimes one timely action is all it takes to prevent a serious event from happening. Choose to care for yourself not out of fear, but because you deserve a calm morning, a steady body, and a strong mind ready to embrace the day. If you take medications, whether for blood pressure, diabetes, blood thinners, or hormones, talk with your doctor about when to take them, how to combine them with breakfast, and what morning side effects to watch for. And if you've ever felt dizzy when getting up, noticed an unusually fast heartbeat, or experienced persistent fatigue in the morning, that's not just aging. It's your body's way of asking you to partner with it, not push it. So start tomorrow. Take a sip of water before your coffee. Sit still for 1 minute before standing up. In doing so, you're building a quiet shield around your heart and your memory. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your parents, your loved ones, your friends, anyone who might be making one of these 5 early morning mistakes without even knowing it. And in the comments below, tell me, what will you change about your morning tomorrow? We're here to grow healthy together, not just adding years to life, but adding life to every single year.